Hello again. I am sometimes astounded at the number of old anti Semitic ideas which are floating around the internet, things which have been part of a certain mindset for centuries. One of these is, of course, enormous suspicion of the Talmud and a conviction that it lays down some kind of plan for world domination by a Jewish elite and the consequent subjugation of Gentiles by Jews. This idea really is ancient, and it has been made possible because hardly anybody, other than a few pious Jews, actually understands Aramaic, the language in which the Talmud is written. This means that you can claim that anything you like is to be found in the Talmud, and you'll usually get away with it. I hasten to add that I have not myself read the Talmud, which is an enormous work. The Babylonian Talmud runs to almost 2 million words. Going off for a moment at a slight tangent, Aramaic was, of course, the language which Jesus spoke, and the Gospels include a few sentences of Western Aramaic. On the cross, as we all know, Jesus cried, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" which was a quotation of the opening verse of Psalm 22. It's also given in the very words spoken by Jesus, namely, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. This is pretty well the sum of my knowledge of Aramaic. The Talmud lays down rules which not only Jews have to follow, but everybody else in the world as well. In other words, a universal code is outlined which everybody must follow if they wish to enter the next world, Ha'olam Haba, as it's put. These are the rules supposedly given to Noah after the flood. Although they're not set out in a straightforward way in the Bible, it is only in the Talmud that they are gathered together and described as laws for all mankind. There are 7 of these Noachide laws, as they are sometimes described, and they are as follows. You mustn't worship idols, you mustn't blaspheme or curse God, you mustn't commit murder, steal, eat flesh torn from a living animal, and you must also establish courts of justice. These laws make Judaism a universal religion rather than one limited and restricted to Jews alone. What many people do not realize is that the United States explicitly endorses these principles from the Talmud, and that on April 14, 1989, President George Bush issued Proclamation 5956, in which he advised everybody in America to follow the Talmudic Code of Conduct. I give a link to this proclamation in the description to this video. President Bush the Elder said, "The principles of moral and ethical conduct that have formed the basis for all civilizations come to us in part from the centuries-old 7 Noachide Laws. The Noachide Laws are actually 7 commandments given to man by God." There you have it. The United States is committed to the principles set out in the Talmud. Just to make sure that we understand that these are a particularly Jewish thing, President Bush went on to praise Reb Schneerson, leader of the Lubavitch movement, Hasidic Jews, that is. He said, "Through the leadership of Rabbi Menachem Schneerson and the worldwide Lubavitch movement, the Noahide law and standards of conduct duly derived from them have been promulgated around the globe. It is fitting that we honor Rabbi Schneerson and acknowledge his important contributions to society." In short, the United States follows the laws given in the Talmud and thanks the Hasidim for preserving them and handing them down to the rest of us.